Hello everyone, welcome to Pulpal GK. As the WHO, World Health Organization, is hitting the headlines regularly these days, in today's session we are going to discuss all about WHO and the recent developments associated with it. Let's start this session by going through the prominent news pieces related to WHO. WHO is in news, firstly, because WHO is accused of mishandling the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. It is accused of repeatedly failing to acknowledge the growing threat of COVID-19 and China's role in the spread of virus. Secondly, our Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan is all set to become the chairman of WHO Executive Board, and this would be very crucial for India, as India is going to play a more proactive role at WHO, particularly at the time when the efforts across the globe is directed towards the containment of coronavirus pandemic. Thirdly, WHO is in news for Taiwan issue. Recently, Taiwan's case for observer status in WHO has got the backing from countries including US, European Union and Japan, much to the dismay of China. Now before we go further, let's look at the table of contents for today's session. We would be starting with WHO and introduction, objective, functions, membership, organization and governance and funding. We would then move on to current developments related to WHO. We would be covering controversy around COVID-19 outbreak, India to chair WHO Executive Board and the Taiwan issue. World Health Organization (WHO) is the directing and coordinating authority on international health within the United Nations system. That is, WHO is a specialized United Nations agency on health. It was established on 7th April 1948 when its constitution came into force. This day, 7th April, is celebrated as World Health Day every year across the globe. India is one of the founding members of WHO. We became the party to Constitution of WHO in January 1948. The headquarters of WHO is in Geneva, Switzerland. The objective of World Health Organization is the attainment by all the people of highest possible level of health. As defined in the WHO Constitution, health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. WHO focuses its work on its 6 core functions. First is providing leadership on matters critical to health and engaging in partnerships where joint action is needed. Second is shaping the health research agenda and stimulating the generation, translation and dissemination of valuable knowledge. Third one is setting norms and standards and promoting and monitoring their implementation. Fourth is articulating evidence-based policy options. That is, WHO provides countries with vital recommendations and standards on public health based on the best available scientific evidences. Fifth core function is providing technical support to the countries. That is, it helps in building sustainable institutional capacity in the health sector. For example, it distributes medical equipment, lab supplies and also supports rapid response team across the world. The sixth one is monitoring the health situation and assessing the health trends. Coming to the membership of WHO, all the countries which are the member of United Nations, they can become the member of WHO by accepting the constitution of WHO. Other countries may also be admitted as a member of WHO when their application has been approved by World Health Assembly by a simple majority vote. Currently there are 194 members in WHO. The World Health Organization operates across 6 regions. That is, the member states of WHO can belong to one of these 6 regions. These are African region, the region of Americas, Southeast Asia region, European region, East Mediterranean region and West Pacific region. India falls under the Southeast Asia region. The headquarters for Southeast Asia region is New Delhi, and the current regional director for Southeast Asia region is Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh. The organization and governance of WHO. So as we know, WHO is an intergovernmental organization and it works in collaboration with its member state, usually through the ministries of health of these states. The WHO partners with countries, United Nations systems, international organizations, civil society, foundations, academia and research institutions. The governance of WHO takes place through the World Health Assembly and the Executive Board. The World Health Assembly is the supreme decision-making body of WHO. The Executive Board gives effect to the decisions and policies of Health Assembly. Then there is one Director General who heads the World Health Organization. He is appointed by the Health Assembly on the nomination of Executive Board. We will go a little further into the details of governance of WHO. The first one is World Health Assembly, which is the supreme decision-making body. Composition: it is attended by all the WHO member states. Main functions: it determines the policies of the organization, appoints the Director General of WHO, supervises financial policies, and review and approve the proposed program budget. The Executive Board. The Executive Board of WHO is composed of 34 individuals who are technically qualified in the field of healthcare. Each one is designated by a member state, elected to do so by the World Health Assembly. The member states of Executive Board are elected for a period of 3-year term. Then there is one chairman of the Executive Board also. This post of chairman is held by rotation for a period of 1 year among the regional groups. Now please note here that last year, that is in 2019, Southeast Asia Group has elected India to be the member of Executive Board for a period of 3-year term beginning in May 2020. And now India has also been elected to be the chairman of the Executive Board for a period of 1 year starting on 22nd May 2020. Coming to the functions of the Executive Board, as the name suggests, the main function would be to give effect or to execute the decision and policies of the Health Assembly and to advise it and generally to facilitate its work. The Executive Board meets at least twice a year. Director General of WHO. He is the head of the organization and he is appointed by the Health Assembly on the nomination of Executive Board. So the Executive Board shortlist the candidates and put them before the World Health Assembly for election by a secret ballot. Main functions: he is the Chief Technical and Administrative Officer of WHO and he oversees the policy for the organization's international health work. The current Director General of WHO, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, took over the office for a 5-year term on 1st July 2017. Next we are coming to source of funding for WHO. WHO has 2 primary sources of revenue. The first one is assessed contribution and the second is voluntary contributions. Assessed contribution, it sets the amount expected to be paid by member state government based on the scale of their income and population. The second one, voluntary contributions. These are made on a voluntary basis. These are the other funds provided by the member states. Also, it includes the contribution from private organizations and individuals who are making voluntary contributions to the WHO. This figure shows the funding of WHO by the member states and other organizations as well as individuals. Now you can see here that in light green color, this is assessed contribution and the dark green color shows the voluntary contribution. Here the largest contribution is being made by the United States, of which of which a comparatively larger proportion is that of voluntary contribution. For your reference, you can look at the contribution made by other countries and organizations in the list. The year 2020 has been declared as the year of nurses and midwife by the WHO. The WHO recognizes the contribution of nurses and other health workers at the forefront of COVID-19 response and also acknowledges the critical role they play in keeping the world healthy. So now we have seen in general about the World Health Organization. Now we are coming to the top recent developments regarding WHO. WHO has been at the center of controversy around the COVID-19 outbreak. WHO is being accused of repeatedly failing to acknowledge the growing threat of COVID-19 pandemic and the role of China in the spread of the virus. The coronavirus outbreak first emerged in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December 2019 and it was being reported to have been originated in a food market there. However, several reports have suggested and claimed that the source of coronavirus was a research facility in Wuhan that have been trying to carry out the research on coronaviruses. China has dismissed this idea, but the evidences suggest that Chinese officials has silenced whistleblowers and suppressed information about the outbreak. Despite these accusations on China of initial cover-up, the WHO chief Tedros Adhanom has publicly praised China's leadership for its efforts on COVID-19 outbreak. Under these circumstances, United States is accusing WHO of being China-centric and is critical of WHO's role in promoting China's disinformation and letting COVID-19 go out of control at the cost of many lives. So US is now threatening WHO of suspending American funding to it. Now US is one of the founding members of WHO as well as its biggest donor. We have just seen that United States is the biggest donor of WHO and most of its funding to WHO is voluntary in nature. Considering this fact, American funding to WHO is very critical. Apart from United States, countries such as France, Britain and Germany have also expressed doubts about China's virus response. At WHO, the European Union along with countries including United Kingdom, Australia and New Zealand are pushing for an inquiry into the pandemic, how it has been handled and what lessons can be learned out of it. Recently, India has also joined 61 nations to seek the source of coronavirus at WHO. Next very important development is that India's nominee Dr. Harsh Vardhan has succeeded Dr. Hiroki Nakatani of Japan to be the chairman of WHO Executive Board. The Southeast Asia Group had unanimously elected India to the Executive Board of WHO for a 3-year term beginning May 2020. And for the post of chairman of the Executive Board, it is held on the rotational basis among the regional groups for a period of 1 year. Now, starting 22nd May 2020, India is going to chair the Executive Board of WHO. Now, India is going to play a more crucial role at WHO. Firstly, as the chairman of Executive Board of WHO, Dr. Harsh Vardhan will have to work closely with the Director General Tedros Adhanom, who has been criticized for the WHO's initial response to COVID-19, and secondly as a member of Executive Board. So even after the 1-year term as a chairman ends for India, India will continue to be the member of Executive Board to complete its term of 3 years. Now the tenure of the current Director General of WHO is going to end. So as a member of Executive Board, India will have a say in shortlisting the next Director General of WHO. The third major development related to WHO is Taiwan issue. Between 2009 and 2016, Taiwan was allowed to attend the WHO meetings and events as an observer. But since 2016, due to renewed pressure from China, Taiwan's attendance have been blocked at WHO. China claims that Taiwan is a part of its territory and hence it's breakaway province. So there is no need of separate representation of Taiwan at WHO, while Taiwan has maintained its demand for the membership at WHO. Now during 2019-20 coronavirus outbreak, Taiwan's effective response to the COVID-19 pandemic has strengthened its case for WHO membership. Taiwan's coronavirus response is among the best globally, and also Taiwan claims that it was the first to give warning to WHO about the coronavirus person-to-person transmission, which was ignored by the later. As such, now the Taiwan's bid for membership to WHO is being widely supported. United States, European Union, Japan, Canada, Australia, New Zealand and other countries have demanded WHO for Taiwan to be given the observer status. Excluding Taiwan would further damage the credibility of WHO. Coming to the concluding part, amid the global crisis caused by the coronavirus pandemic, which has infected nearly 5 million people and killed more than 320,000 across the globe, WHO must now answer some of the tough questions. WHO is crucial to the future of global public health, and so it's necessary that it must maintain its credibility on the world stage. So this was all for today's session about the WHO and the recent developments around it. I hope you have liked the session. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow us on the Facebook. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a very nice day.